we're moving on.
Yes.
I see a stack of rocks and I already feel like it's trained me. It's taught me that those stacks can be in the garden, they can be in the forest, they can be at the beach. I'm already relaxed. Therapeutic Thursday. And we wanted to share with you some relaxation and grounding techniques that were taught to us and given to us by Katie Moran. She's a licensed massage therapist. We've done a couple lives with her before in the past, but the largest concept that we all really just need to integrate in our lives is that we can learn to live relaxed. It's not, we just live that way. We don't choose a moment like I'm going to be relaxed because I go to the spa. We should be able to live, just shake it off, a more relaxed life. And living a relaxed lifestyle and really enables us to kind of create a reality every day that we do not ever need to escape from. If we just live more relaxed, we want to be in that life. And constant input from the universe, from society, from our own self choices, our own ability to care for ourselves, it kind of contributes all to our wellness or our unwellness. So here are some options for living a more relaxed journey through the senses, a way to just be living relaxed. So here we go. Let's talk about some of this. Now, what I love that Katie did here, she incorporated the senses. So she's going to cover all 5 things in this article, which is posted in our resources section. So we know that scent, we just talked about it a little bit when it comes to our cooking. We know that scent makes an impact in us when it comes to our stress, our anxiety level, our emotions, our memories. Certain, like you smell apple and cinnamon, you might think of like Thanksgiving. No, you'll think that if you smell pumpkin and other types of spices, but you're just going to think of certain things in your life. Cookies make you think of certain things. So some sedative aromatherapy that you can use that'll help you have much more of a calming or relaxed effect would be chamomile, clary sage, frankincense, jasmine, lavender, mandarin. There's a whole bunch of them that are listed here. It's been proven. These scents have been around for a very, very, very long time. It's a known fact that when you have a stuffy nose, you smell eucalyptus or menthol, right?
Yep.
To congest you. So it's, once you think of that, you know that these other ones are probably going to work on you as well. There's also a way of doing, and I am not going to attempt to say that word, even though I think it says pranayama, conscious breathing, alternate nostril breathing. I know it's a way of breathing in one nostril, holding it, breathing out the other nostril, breathing in, holding it, and then switching and breathing out. That is a way that as you're thinking it, you're already going to become relaxed, unless your nose is slightly stuffed like mine, because the change in temperature, and then you're just going to feel like you're stuffed. Separate from that, this alternate breathing is supposed to be very relaxing. There's also cooling breath or boat tongue, and you can look that up as well. And that is a way to feel the breath on the tongue, which we've talked about in our own mindfulness courses that we've had here with Aortic Hope, is focusing on when you breathe, where do you feel that breath that's on your tongue? And so that's all falls underneath of the scent category. So that's scent. Anything you want to comment when it comes to scent before we move on?
Never.
I've lost you, so I'm not
I don't
sure
see
if,
her yet.
okay. Could just, okay, so it's not me. So let's talk, I'm just going to talk then until Diane jumps back on. But I know for me, as soon as I smell eucalyptus, spearmint, peppermint, those types of scents, all lavender equal spa for me. So I know that when I smell those, I'm sorry, we lost you for a second, Diane. I was saying certain scents that I smell that I immediately think of a spa, and I'm immediately transported to relaxation. What were you about to say about smell?
It's just like you were talking about. I used eucalyptus. It's good, like especially if you take a shower. If you have the leaves or the oil sitting in there in a bowl, that's so great, and it gives you like a burst of energy. For me, it does. Lavender is my go-to. It's my favorite fragrance of all time. Lavender helps me calm down, which I need a gallon of that. But I love lavender vanilla. Oh, geez, so good. But Yeah, there's certain things that you could do. You could get even the lavender or them scents fragrances in the roll-on things, and you could put it wherever. They said if you rub some eucalyptus oil on your temple or on your here on the nose
Mm.
and stuff, that help open up the pores. But there's some fragrance that I don't like, but that's my
Yeah,
favorite to go to is the eucalyptus and lavender. Love me some lavender, lilac-ish fragrance.
lilac. Yeah, and this
Yes,
comes down
girl.
to what she shares here for relaxation. It's all part of grounding. And if you can ground
Hmm.
with one of each of the five senses, you're going to be amazed at how quickly you diffuse your own personal environment that might be creating stress or anxiety. So pick a scent. I always have a scent in the car that I know that if I, for whatever reason, become triggered, like if I start to have a
Right.
PTSD moment, or I just stressed or there's driver drove like crazy, I will turn the vent on higher and then I get that smell. That's immediately. And now
Yes.
I've been distracted. Okay. So if
Hmm.
smells aren't your thing, because there's plenty of people that aren't into smells. I mean, all of these aromatherapy companies, doTERRA, there's so many of them. I've been really coming, living
Hmm.
good. I can't remember. Living Wellness. There's another company. I can't remember the name. You just need to be careful and the products and the percentage of essential oil and realize that having diffusers sometimes around animals is very toxic to them.
Right.
So look into that as well because these oils as they go up in the air they have to drop someplace. So you want to make
Hmm.
sure that you have these in areas that won't impact your pets. But separate from that, you'll do that research. If you're not a scent person, maybe you're a sight person. Maybe visual is what you need. So we would all ideally like to have a non cluttered home. Steve, this is why I have a background behind me because if you saw what my office was always looking like, to me, it's controlled chaos. So I
Yeah.
have little areas with piles, but I know that when
Hmm.
I'm totally pile free is when I'm stressed because then I can't remember where I put anything. That's just me. Certain things have their place, but other things, if I don't want to lose them, I have to be able to see them. That's me.
Hmm.
But in the site category, maybe it's nature. What does nature mean to you? I know if I see anything that has the beach or palm trees, I am calm. I love the
Hmm.
way forests look like in the fall, the changing of the leaves. I have absolutely no desire to sit in a forest because I don't like bugs. Okay, so everybody has their own thing that makes them happy. But if I see a picture of flowers or I see a picture of the beach, I am calmer. If candles do it for you, whether it's electric, battery operated, or actual fire, then maybe you should light a candle. But for me, while I'm driving, I don't let I have this because I put something you gave me. I put that amethyst on my car. I have
Yeah.
the symbol from Prince, and it hangs, and it brings
Uh-huh.
me joy. I like it, and I look at my
Yes.
amethyst that my friend gave me, and it brings me joy. So again, it's with the smell. Everything is right there in my field of vision. So what makes you feel calmer for you visually?
Me visually, it's going outside, looking at my flowers. And another thing is just kind of diagonal is animals, whether it be hummingbirds, butterflies, but right down the road there's two horses and two donkeys. They're
Yes.
not mine, but they think they are. And all I have to do, Karen, I step out and I take probably maybe 15 steps down the road and I'll call them, they come running to me. And
Sweet.
the owners sitting there and I take them apples and I give them some hay and lettuce, cabbage. I feed them. And
Hmm.
one day the owner stopped me, and I thought, "Oh hell, I'm in trouble." But anyhow, he thanked me for taking time with his animals, and I said, to "No, thank you." I says because I've asked him before for permission, but I thought he didn't think that I'll get so attached and go see them at least 3 times a week, and if not 5 or 6 times a week, I'll go feed them and give them treats. But they see my car, they'll walk, follow my car, and or I mean, they're precious, and it brings me so much joy, and they literally love on me. I'll have like my shoulder right here, and one of the horses be nudging me, you know. I mean, it's the joy in the nature, and I'm a outdoorsy person. I get a lot of pleasure if I'm not feeling good. It's pretty outside. I'll get in my car, open my sunroof, and put on music or what have you, and go get me a smoothie or something.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that, a lot of people don't really understand that you've got to let a little bit light, however way that you get light in your life, whether it be through music, maybe the light outside, whatever makes you happy, you know, do something, find something that brings you joy.
Mhm.
And my garden, I know one thing, it does make me depressed sometimes. I'm going to be totally honest with you, Karen, because I've done all the work outside. And anyhow, are you still there? Did I lose
Uh-huh.
you?
Yeah. Well, no,
Okay.
we're here.
All right. Well, I mean, I could do my garden so easily, but now I have to stop so many times to do things, and I get a little bit frustrated. But when something starts to bloom or something coming up, I'm happy. And
Mhm.
it don't take much to make me happy as far as it comes. If I'm outside, see a squirrel, I do have squirrel feeders. I have bird feeders, hummingbird feeders. I have some corn out for the deer, which is, you know, on my property. We have acreage, and I just love seeing them.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, that's would be all part of sight. So all of that helps de-stress you, which is part of the
Yes.
grounding techniques. And then you brought
Right.
up smoothies. So that kind of takes us to the next one, which is taste.
Yeah.
So taste is important, and that's a very individualized thing on what you can taste that might help diffuse or calm you or relax you. So I always have gum in the car. And the reason I started this stuff in the car is because that's where I would be triggered the most right after I had my dissection when I was recovering. So if there was an ambulance came by or a helicopter above, I needed to be in this environment with things that could ground me. So that's why I have gum. And gum
Hmm.
covers sound, it covers taste, it covers sight, it covers smell, it covers, it covers so much just in one little piece of gum. But I then still have the visual and I have the smells in the car as well. So when you're going to eat, try to create a sense of ambiance or a sense of calm when you're going to eat. Make your space be sacred, be relaxing. A lot of people tend to take that plate and just go right in front of the TV. Well, all you're doing is training yourself that you could have horrible news on when you're eating. You want your eating to be a nice, wonderful, relaxed moment. I'm not saying you can't sit in front of the TV, but you are training your brain. Like if you're going to watch TikTok videos every night before you go to sleep, you're just generating more energy. So you have to create the environment you want to be in. So train yourself that. I mean, this is why as families we sit together and have dinner. This is our time to be together. Those families
Hmm.
that did that, some families are very effective in sitting in another room. But if you want to use food and taste as a way to diffuse, then create that environment. Get into a routine when it comes to your eating, when you're going to eat, how much you're going to eat, how fast or slow you want to to eat and enjoy that experience of chewing, of swallowing, of eating. You want your digestive system to be more relaxed. And you want to eat a balanced diet. I mean, here they talk about anti inflammatory foods. It's what's going to work best for you and your situation. We could never tell people incorporate a ton of roughage and vegetables because we know there are people with IBD, Crohn's or colitis that are part of the community and they just cannot eat those types of foods. So, whatever's going to work best for you, just try to eat that in a relaxed environment and drink water. That can never hurt you. Although it is interesting, you can have blood pressure fluctuations if you're too hydrated. That's an interesting thing, too.
Interesting.
Yep. And
Yes.
that would be those moments where
Interesting.
you're holding on too much water, and diuretics then help you release some of that fluid. So there's a balancing act there. But taste is one. Now we're on number three. That is another important element of reducing
Mhm.
stress. Okay. You talked about your smoothies. You like your smoothies.
Like my sweets.
I like your smoothies. All right. Touch. Touch is another important one. That's a massive one for me. So, self massage. There's a lot of times when I'm stressed, people now everybody will know this about me. I tend to rub over an eyebrow. This is what I do. I don't do tapping, but this is my self soothe. It distracts me from losing my mind. And it allows me just to focus on the touch, focus on how many times I'm doing it, and it automatically calms me down. I don't know where and when I adapted that, but I did. And any type of self massage. Sometimes I will rub my hands. It's not a nervous thing. I like the way it feels. So I like to rub my joints. That everybody's going to have their own element and what that means. I'm a huge, huge believer and supporter of massage. I love getting massages and facials. I love facials because I can hear the sounds, I can smell what they're putting on my face. I just love the way that it feels. Uh, Restorative yoga is another one that Katie mentioned here. Practice moving into being more comfortable. And Reiki, she's a big believer in Reiki and just as a self tool and using energy. I mean, we're all made of energy. So you can actually go for
What
Reiki treatments. Hmm?
what is that? Reiki? Is that what you're saying? Reiki?
Reiki, Reiki. It's an energy. It's a form of therapy, not not therapy like we're thinking mental health therapy. It's energy. So we're all made of energy, and it's different for every people and how much benefit you get out of it. But there
Mm-hmm.
are Reiki specialists that do go to become certified. That they don't touch you, just hover their hand right over you and use their energy to help heal and de-stress you through their energy through and it's funny because my father, we would play these games when I was a child. I would close my eyes and he would move his finger over the bridge of my nose but not touch me and ask me to tell him when I felt it, and I can feel it. I can
Mm-hmm.
feel, but they're just it's different for different people, but I can feel the energy without being necessarily directly touched. Does that make sense?
Right.
But you should look it up. You should try it. Everybody, they either like it or they don't. It's one of those things. You're either into it or you're not. Yeah, but that's touch. So where are you? And because I love, like, we call it toe time. So much information on this YouTube channel. It's ridiculous. But toe time is a big thing in my house for me. Uh, you know, my husband might say, go pick up the dry cleaning. I'm like, well, I want toe time. I like to have my feet rubbed. It's soothing. I like to pet my dog. I like the way the fur feels in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's soothing. So what do you find that works for you from a touch perspective?
For me, I always do this. Except I do it with both hands. Oh my gosh. Not just that, but it's good for the scalp and for your hair. Did you know that?
Mhm.
Get the circulation going.
Yeah.
I have a habit doing that. I have a habit keeping low.
Oh no. She has a habit. We don't know what the other habit is. Well, we're gonna have to be on the edge of our
I
seats
wonder if
with
she's
what
getting a
Diane.
phone call when that happens.
Could be, could be. But I have seen Diane do this, and I do think it feels good. So she'll have to share with us some more of her touch and what that works. But I know touch is big, and touch is big for anybody. And so if you're having, oh, we lost you there. I got your hair, but
Yeah.
I missed everything out. What was that about? Say it again.
Okay. Well, with the hair, I like to do that, rub that with the hand lotion.
Hmm.
Another thing that I like to do, you're talking about toe touch. Um, I like my feet rubbed.
Hmm.
But believe it or not, there are pressure points on your feet that relieves another part of your body. Like there's something like if you have a kidney infection or something, if they put their thumb at the right place, that really does work. The only thing I will not do exchange toe touch with my husband because his toes is he works outside, Karen, okay? And that's something he needs a professional for that.
Well, what you're saying is true, and it's called reflexology. So there are meridians
Yes.
and points in your hands and your feet. And I remember one time I went to somebody, gave them nothing about my history, went in for foot. And if you're getting real reflexology, it's not supposed to feel good. It's actually supposed to be kind of uncomfortable. But when I had it done, the person looked at me and said, "Do you have GI issues? Gastrointestinal issues?" I said, "Yes." Why? They're like, "Because I feel it on this point in your foot." And I was in a
Right.
Crohn's flare at that time. And they say, don't eat 30 minutes before or after you have foot reflexology because it will work up your intestines. It can.
Mm,
So it is very interesting. So I'm a big kind of
it
believer in all
is.
of that. You know, and
Me
again,
too.
when I'm in the hospital or I'm super stressed about something with my health, I go back to this. It's just a way to just
Mm,
distract again. That's your fourth sense that we've talked about. So again, all of these things to relax you are all part of grounding techniques. All right, sound. We just finished talking about music, but any kind of sound. It doesn't even have to be just music. It could be the sound of your voice giving yourself positive self affirmation. You can put it on tape. You can play it back to yourself every day. Like, you know, look in the mirror and hear your own voice telling you, you've got this. You can do this today. You're amazing. You're a survivor. Doing nothing is doing something. Don't be hard on yourself. Whatever the case may be, sometimes that's the sound that you need to hear is yourself telling you, I am enough. Today
mhm.
is a good day. So, and nature sounds, ocean sounds, spa music. For some, they do want really heavy metal music. I don't know why. It would make me more energized than calm, but vibrational sound therapy. And if you've never been to a sound bath, there is a video in our series here on our channel where she did give us an example, a sampling of sound baths. So sound baths are those big, gigantic crystal bowls that I'm sure you've heard people hit, and then they ring on the outside of the bowl with this big, huge thing. There's a vibration that's put out from these bowls. I mean, just like if you dropped water and you'd see the rippling effect. And it's the sound, and it just really is very relaxing. I'm sure there are people that probably don't love it. I love it. I go to sound baths sometimes and you just kind of get comfortable on your own yoga mat and it's just you just listen to it and it's like you're fully clothed but you just like you feel enveloped by these sounds and it's very relaxing. Almost like wind chimes but it's different from this bowl.
Mhm.
So any particular sounds that really work for you?
It's funny you say wind chimes. Molly was like, wind chimes.
That's
Great minds
it.
think alike.
Exactly.
They were
Wind
a
chimes.
hit on the Thursday meeting.
Oh, wind chimes.
Yeah, somebody had beautiful wind chimes on their porch.
Yeah, I love them. My husband can't stand them. He doesn't like this. He doesn't like the randomness of when they're going to just go off. And I think it's like it's like wind whispering. I love it.
Hmm. I do too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, relaxation techniques, aka grounding techniques. Trust me, if you go to see a therapist to help you in the beginning stages with any potential PTSD or medically related trauma, you're going to find that grounding techniques and utilizing your senses is one of the most common, easiest things that you can start to try to do for yourself. And if you learn that, you'll be able to do that and implement that anytime, anywhere. And that's our Therapeutic Thursday. That's all I got on that one.